This is the Mexican Fire Barrel Cactus, also known as Ferocactus pringlei. And this cactus is native to Sonora and Baja California. And you can see its bare root. And I will be planting this up today and give you a few more little facts about this stunning little guy. Okay, before I pot this up, I wanted to mention that Ferocactus, it's kind of short for ferox in a way, and ferox means fierce, wild, bold, or cruel, and I think this one could be rather cruel if you got your fingers stuck in there, hence the leather gloves. Now, some people might confuse the Ferocactus pringlei, the Mexican fire barrel, with the Ferocactus cylindraceus, the California barrel cactus, and sometimes people will call that cacti a fire barrel cactus. However, the Ferocactus cylindricus is native to the Mojave, Sonoran, and Colorado deserts, and they span the area of California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and Baja California, whereas the Mexican fire barrel, the Pringlei, is native just to Mexico. And some other difference are the spines on the California barrel cactus, the cylindraceus cactus. They can fade out with age, whereas the Mexican fire barrel cactus, those spines will stay fairly red. And I do have a little bit of a film clip here that I can show you of the California barrel cactus that I saw in Palm Springs. And you can find that barrel cactus in the Joshua Tree National Park, the Anza Borrego Desert State Park, and the Mojave National Preserve. As you can see here, the flowers on the California barrel cactus are a bright lemon yellow, and the flowers on the Mexican fire barrel, they're usually a golden to a deep orange or reddish color. I will put a link up above if you would like to see the full video of my hike in the Sonora and Mojave Desert. The soil mix that I'm using here is a regular cactus and citrus soil mix, plus I added a ton of pumice because excellent drainage is really important for the Mexican fire barrel cactus, as is it with most other cacti, because the roots do not like sitting in wet soil. And I used an extra amount of the pumice because of the fact that the pot that I'm putting my fire barrel in is just a little bit bigger than what I would like, and I really want to make sure that the water drains through quickly. I want to mention that I live in Zone 10A in Southern California, so I do keep my cactus outside year-round in pots, and I also have some planted in the ground. And so far, I have not had any issues with my cacti burning or rotting, but if it's really hot outside, I will put a shade cloth over my cacti that are planted in the ground. One other thing about the weather, fire barrel cactus does not like prolonged freezing temperatures. So if that happens in your area, it's best just to keep your plant in a pot and bring it indoors or in a garage or protect it in some way. What I just added to the pot is a starter fertilizer. Normally, I only use it when I'm planting cactus in the ground, but I decided to go ahead and start using it in my pots because it is supposed to help promote good root growth. And now I'm going to give you the same advice I always give about watering cactus. Only water your cactus when the soil is thoroughly dry. And then once you're sure it's completely dry, then you go ahead and water it and keep watering it until you see water come out of the bottom of the hole in the pot. That is why a drainage hole is so important. And also with most cactus, During the winter months, hold off on water. If you live in zone 10A, normally the winter rains will be sufficient to keep your cactus and succulents watered. But if there's no rain at all, then once in a while you may need to water them, perhaps once a month during the winter months. Now, as far as light is concerned, the Fire Barrel Cactus absolutely loves sunshine, so you should provide at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight every day. And the more sun that it receives, the redder those spines will become. So if your spines are looking a little bit on the anemic side, perhaps your cactus is not getting enough sunlight. And I have had this particular Fire Barrel Cactus sitting on that table that you first saw at the beginning of the video for about a week, so it was starting to look not quite as bright. The spines were when I first received it. Now, if you're growing this cactus indoors, I want to say good luck to you. I have not been very successful with growing my cactus and succulent indoors. However, if you are going to grow it indoors, put it in a south-facing or a west-facing window, and you also may need to supplement it with a grow light. The Fire Barrel Cactus is not fast growing. It only grows about 1 to 2 inches in height per year, so you'll have to wait a bit before it gets big and impressive looking. But after quite a few years, it can get several feet tall and wide under ideal conditions. And hopefully you'll get to see your Fire Barrel in bloom. I'm basically finished adding the soil to this pot. I'm going to tap it down right now to make sure there are not any air pockets, and then I will be adding the top dressing. I have found that reasonably priced top dressing is kind of hard to come by. I have not seen much at your big box stores at all, so I did have to resort to ordering my top dressing off of Amazon, and they have fairly decent prices. However, you can use fish tank rock, and I have used that before, so you can go to your local pet store and pick some up, because if it's safe for the fish, it will definitely be safe for your plant. But I think a nice black colored fish tank rock would look good in this pot also. If you use perlite in your soil mixture, adding top dressing is a good idea, because the top dressing will weight down that perlite and keep it from floating up to the top of your pot. If you wanted to pair your Fire Barrel Cactus up with another plant, I think it would look good planted next to an agave blue glow, which is what you see here planted in the ground. Right now it's relatively small, but once it gets bigger and the Fire Barrel Cactus gets bigger, I think the two would look really nice next to one another. The red edges of the agave plant pair well with the red spines of the Fire Barrel Cactus. Okay, I think this is going to be the final resting spot for my Fire Barrel Cactus. I think it'll look good in here, and I probably will keep it in this pot for about a year, and then I will plant it into the ground. In fact, I may plant it up in my front yard near that blue agave that I just showed you. Okay, so anyway, that is it for now, and I want to remind you, don't forget to hit subscribe and the like button, and subscribing to my channel is free. It's whenever you see the join button, that's the button that will cost you money, but the subscribe button is free, so do not worry about ever hitting the subscribe button on my channel. Okay, once again, thank you to all of my loyal subscribers and to my future subscribers, and check back with me again to see what I'm up to next time. Bye.